Mate, it was pretty brutal. So first moto was like a bit short, a couple hours. It was good. I just had a lot of mistakes. And then the last two were good. I rode pretty clean, which is good. And then the last one, surprisingly, I could push a lot. Like I got tired at the end, like cramping old limbs, but we're all good and had a good weekend. So staging was 3 o'clock. Race started at 3:30. I was like still in the van with my eyes closed at 3:15, which I needed that. So anyway, got down there, started the race. And then on the first lap, from like 6th place back, the bunting got blown down and we were supposed to go left, but everyone else went on the old track, which was longer. Didn't think anything of it. There's no bunting. Shit happens, like it got blown down. So then we all went, and then bunting at the other end, like where the track joined on, there was like 10 of us, like riding around thinking how'd we stuff up. But then eventually we got on track, and next lap I figured it out and was able to hammer down.
Overall, what was your the biggest challenge or thing you had to overcome for the weekend?
Fitness, for sure, and for everyone. And 3 motos. It was hot, not as brutal as last year, but I think for sure fitness, just cramps and tired and that. And also, you get tired and then you make more mistakes, you use more energy, so definitely fitness. Yeah, for sure, keep getting fitter, can get fitter. I think the Euro guys are so fit. I think because their race is so brutal, so eventually I'll get used to it. And I guess I'm kind of young, so I'll condition more, which is, I'm excited for that. I want it to happen now. But now I'll keep training and keep working at it. Next race, the next extreme race is Iowa. I don't even know, a few weeks maybe. We'll see.
Between then?
Nah, just cruise, keep training. I'll see if there's a local race, I might do that, but definitely recover and then get training again.
Yeah, the whole weekend went really, really good. So hot lap, ended up second, which really didn't mean much other than being on the first row, which obviously helps out too. And then first race today on Sunday, I got 4th. That race went pretty well. It was only 5 seconds back from Colton, and we battled a lot. We went back and forth probably 5 or 6 times that race, and it was pretty fun. And second race, got a good start again, and then crashed right in that first rock garden. I think everyone in my row went by me and struggled to get around some people, but ended up coming back up to 5th. And then the third race, the final, it was pretty sweet. They added all the 6 gnarly stuff and ended up 3rd in that one. Didn't make too many mistakes and ready for the next one.
What did you think? It looked like a lot of guys, that little ridge line around the water, that seemed to bind a lot of guys. How was going through that section?
Oh, that was probably my favorite section. It was really gnarly and then had a sick hill right when you were done with it. And it was definitely a little nerve-wracking coming into the last lap. I didn't want to make any big mistakes since it was towards the end of the race, but I think came through pretty clean every lap, which was a good thing. Probably just the second race in general. I feel like I didn't ride real well in the beginning, didn't make passes quick enough, and kind of got stuck behind some guys. And then just kind of wish the first race, the second race, I was ahead of Colton for at least one of them, and maybe would have bumped up to 3rd overall for the day. But 4th overall, take it, improving every race, so we'll get there soon. Oh, it was really cool. I was like, man, is that Colton in front of me? And then I was like, oh man, he's behind me now. But no, it was really cool. Hopefully get to battle with him and Trystan and Cody some more this year. It'd be sweet.
What's next for you?
Next will be, I think we get 2 weekends off, and then Iowa and hard enduro up in Iowa. So it should be a good one.
How was it?
I had a good weekend overall. It's definitely not the result I want. I want to be in the top 10, but at the end of the day, I do need to be happy with it because I got a lot of experience, got to ride with a lot of good guys and just learn and key off them. There's so many just the little things that is hard to learn by yourself practicing, or even just because it's just so easy to make a mistake and just everything can just start spiraling out of control. But I don't know, I'm happy with it overall. Lots of good takeaways. Race number 1, well, I qualified on the second row from the hot lap. And so I was on the second row, got a decent start or so, made a couple moves right away. Can't remember who I was riding with, but we were all just kind of having a dogfight, going crazy, and I made a couple big mistakes, especially in Rock Lady. I did that one terrible both laps, but yeah, my highlight would probably be race 2. I think I ended up around 13th or so in that one, which doesn't sound great on paper either, but just I'm happy with the way I rode. I didn't really make any mistakes, was able to just kind of keep my feet on the pegs, and which is like a big goal of mine, and just kind of consistent forward momentum everywhere. It was pretty tough. I think all of us were very tired. I wasn't able to put down much food today, just feeling kind of sick, but it actually, I would say like my heart rate was probably lower in that main, just because it was so intense that you were kind of forced to take a step back from racing in certain parts to just kind of get through it, because lots of it was so trialsy and technical, and you didn't want to make a big mistake, I would say. Probably race 1, lap 2, coming through lappers. I felt like a sweeper out there. I had to help so many people just because they were in the way. There was one rider on a TM that was down on a hill, and his bike was wedged in the way, and I had to fully lift his bike out of there and drag it down the hill. And then at Rock Lady, there was a guy on a beta too, and he fell over in front of me. I had nowhere to go, and he threw his chain off too. And so I lifted his bike through, put his chain back on for him so he could get out of my way. And then the guy was cool and he helped me through. But that was probably my toughest, just all the lappers and carnage.
Right on. What's next for you?
I believe it's the Iowa Hard Enduro. I'll be doing the full East and West Extreme Series, so whatever's next on the series.
Race number 1 for me was absolute garbage. I felt bad. I rode very poorly. I'm not proud of it. I hate that that's what I did. I don't know if I was like 18th or 19th. I don't know. It was dismal. It was bad. Ultimately, I had arm pump. I kind of just woke up in a funk. My heart wasn't in coming to this race. I don't care for the way it works. If I'm happy riding somewhere, I ride really well. If I'm not, I don't, and I don't get paid to do this, so I'm not going to push outside of what I want to do. Race number 2, I rode a little stronger. I didn't have the arm pump, so I just rode better. I rode a lot better. I think, let's just say I was in around 20th at the first moto. I moved up to maybe 14th, 15th, I don't know. Stepped up a few positions for Moto 2. Great, as an improvement. I knew I still had some in the tank, but again, I just wasn't pushing. And I just tried to move on. I wasn't looking forward to the main event because they really condense it down into the more contrived style stuff. They work us up and down the rock formations, and I like hard enduro, where this just wasn't very enduro-esque at all. This venue just isn't. It probably suits trials guys a lot better. As a core enduro guy, I really have to force this event for myself. But main event, I had little confidence, but I was just going to see what happened. So as far as having a lack of plan, that wasn't a good plan. But so I just threw out expectations. I'm just going to go ride and see how far I can get. And it went fairly decent. There was a course marking error, and I think we got mixed up, we got lost. I think it might have hurt a little bit for me, maybe on lap 1, lap 2. Some guys continued to make a mistake, and it worked out for me maybe. Can't really be certain what actually happened, but we were confused. I rode surprisingly well for how I felt, and I started charging towards the end of that main event and really pushed through my second lap, and I finished 12th. So I'm happy to have improved each moto. I feel a lot better at the end of this race than I did last year, where I tapped out, pulled under a bush, and kind of heat stroked out. So it was a few degrees cooler today, beautiful weekend really, and the course was a little improved over last year. So I will give credit where credit's due for the track improvement. here at RevLimiter. But tried to make the most of not being my favorite race, but we always have fun riding dirt bikes.
What's next for you?
I got 2 weekends off, which is fantastic. I've been hitting it hard, local races, hard enduros, you name it. I just kind of feel a little fizzled out this weekend. But 2 weekends off, then we're headed to Iowa for the Iowan Hard Enduro. So that will be interesting.
The weekend went pretty well, you know. It was nice to get out of Canada and come down to the States. That's always good. So coming down here is a good experience. And last year, I got second here. I went 2-2-2. Cody went 1-1-1. So I was pretty fired up because he beat me 3 weeks ago at Page. So I knew coming in that I didn't want to get second again for multiple reasons. But he's also really good here. There's so many rocks here, and he's the best trials rider, one of the best trials riders in the world on a big bike. So I knew it was going to be tough, and I may have underestimated how good he is, but I tried my hardest, and I came out second, and that's, I guess, all I can do. But I'll keep working and try to get him. Yeah, I hate losing, man. Especially when you know you can win, that's when it really hurts. If you know you can't win, then it doesn't really matter. But if you know you can beat the guy, which I beat him at TKO in Battle of the Goats, and so you know it's there, but tapping into that and beating him every time, it's hard because he's so good, and he's obviously a lot older than me. He's 31 or 32, I think, and so he's got so much experience, so it's hard to beat that experience. You see Jarvis, he's like 47 and he still wins races, so you know that experience, it's tough to beat, but I'll keep trying. Yeah, the first 2 races, everyone showed up more than 30 minutes in advance, and I think for the last race, everyone showed up like 10 minutes or less.
Yeah. So like, how do you push through that? Like, I mean, you're close to empty, if not on empty.
Yeah.
How do you push through like 3 laps?
I think if you want to win, you'll show up, and if you don't want to win, you'll show up late. But you have to show up with a good attitude and put your best foot forward. The next schedule is the Iowan Hard Enduro. I've never been there, so I don't know much about it, but it's in 2 weekends off, so it's in 3 weeks.
Okay, so race 1, you know, we started the weekend. We was eighth on the hot lap, so we started on the first row, and yeah, I got a pretty good start, and just kind of tried following those guys as long as possible, and just pretty much tried to ride without mistakes. And I feel like race 1 went really well, and I ended up I think fifth. Yeah, 5th in race 1, and it was good. I felt pretty comfortable out there, and I mean, this is a total different terrain than I've ever even rode. So I mean, I feel like to come here and compete was going to be tough, and but it was good. So race 2, I almost got the whole shot. I think I was second, and so yeah, another good start, and just kind of tried to do the same thing. And race 2 was really intense. Everybody was just really battling each other hard because we only had 1 lap and to make all the passes, and I ended up 4th on that one. I was really happy. I had to do a lot of pushing on that one. There was a lot of bottlenecks and a lot of bad places that they kind of put in. So I was pretty smoked after that one. Going to the final, it was not my style at all. The first 2 kind of I was pretty good with. So going to the last one, I knew it was going to be really tough for me, and some of the stuff's really slow and just tight and technical. And yeah, I feel like I've done as well as I could. I ended up 6th in the final event and put me for 5th overall for the weekend. So my goal coming here was to get a top 5, and you know, I think we accomplished that. So as the day went on, it's just fatigue. I mean, it's hot out here. It's kind of just relentless. It's dusty and hot. You suck in so much dust out here this weekend. It's tough. It was tough trying to adjust to the rocks here, because back in Tennessee, it's nothing like this. There is no traction, so everything here has traction, and you can kind of aim toward the big rocks and just go up them. It's kind of had to learn as I went today. I didn't get to come here and ride this week or anything, so it was good. I think it was a good weekend.
What's next for you? What's next on the schedule?
We got GNCC coming up this weekend in South Carolina, so we're gonna definitely try to get home early this week and get some recovery and be ready to roll this weekend.
Is there any way you transfer this to like a GNCC, or is this just a completely different animal?
it's hard to race this. So I kind of did struggle with that, I guess, earlier in the day is when I would make up time and kind of get close to guys, I would push really hard, which you don't need to do here. So I would just push really hard and end up falling in a rock section trying to just blitz through stuff, and you got to be more precise than that. And I think you can take little bits of it back, and you know, especially when you get, even if it's like roots and stuff like that, you just take the preciseness back and try to be smooth.
Final question for you. You're doing kind of the rest of the East Coast of the series. Can we get you that GNCC guy sticker for the rest of the season?
I think that would be awesome. I think coming out here, everybody was like, some GNCC guy's coming. Who's that GNCC guy? I don't know. It's just kind of the, I guess, talk of the weekend, and I think it'd be pretty cool to have that GNCC guy sticker. It'd be awesome.